Common mistakes while buying a house. Hi there, this is Jeff. Real quick, if you're thinking of buying your first single family unit, or maybe your first multi-family property, or even maybe your first commercial property, you might want to stop scrolling right now and give me a few minutes of your time, because the gems I'm going to share with you today will save you tens of thousands of dollars and maybe even your entire real estate future. These were the mistakes a very close friend of mine made that cost him over $45,000 in 30 days. And they were the same mistakes I was a click away from making until I discovered a tool that saved me from making those mistakes. And I'm going to share that with you. So let me tell you a quick story. I was just starting out. I was super excited. I've saved enough, to buy my first investment property. Everything looked great in my eyes at that point in time. I saw a property online, great photos, great location. The listing looked good. The listing broker told me this one will not last the weekend, and everything they told me was just perfect because I didn't know any better. And guess what I did? Yes, I rushed in. I skipped due diligence itself. Now, 3 weeks down the line into my deal, I realized that one, the roof was leaking. Number two, the property had an active zoning violation that the state was suing the owner for, which I had to assume this cost. Number three, the property had a structural damage that was impacting the property itself. Number four, it had foggy windows. These were big ticket items I knew no better. To cut the story short, this would have cost me over $50,000 in repairs. But the good news is, during my due diligence period, a very good friend of mine introduced me to the tool called InvestFusion. Now, with InvestFusion, within seconds, address into InvestFusion and it spit out all of these red flags. It identified the roof issues, it identified the structural foundations, it identified the zoning violations, it identified the foggy window issues, it also identified environmental violations and foundation issues that I did not even was aware of. The reality is, I was able to save myself from spending over $50,000 plus by utilizing InvestFusion. And that saved me time, that saved me heartache, that saved me pain. As a matter of fact, few days later, InvestFusion found a property for me within the same zip code that was 45% below the market with built-in equity and a cash flowing property. That experience was an eye-opener for me. I am going to share with you the 3 biggest mistakes most new buyers make. And I hope you don't make that mistake yourself, because 90%, if not more, of new buyers are making this mistake every single day. The first mistake most buyers make is that they trust pretty pictures. Yes, you see a listing on Zillow, LoopNet, Craigslist, what have you. You trust the pictures, you just look at it and you love it. You're buying emotions, you're not buying facts. And those pictures alone do not give you the real details about the property itself. So you're not buying the data. So trusting the pictures is like it's buying based off of emotions and not based on facts. Mistake number 2 most buyers make is that they forget to do their due diligence itself, or not understanding the implication of having or identifying the red flags. And these red flags, or which you find out during the due diligence period, include, among other things, are: 1, foundation issues, structural damage, zoning violations, environmental violations, big ticket items like foggy windows as well. All of these are potential red flags that most investors are not aware of. The third mistake most new buyers make is running comps the wrong way. Listen, most new buyers do not account for a number of factors. All they look out for is they look at the asking price, or they look at the last sold price. To them, that's what they base their benchmark on. They forget things like condition variances, replacement costs, the actual living square footage from the appraisal reports. All of this can impact the property, including renovation costs. Now, once they fail to understand this impacts them. And that's why a lot of buyers end up spending over $500,000 for a property that actually costs less than $300,000 in the real life. And that's because they don't understand the power of the appraisal report and the power of understanding how to read the comps the right way. Now, let me share with you the 3 secrets that most smart buyers or smart investors are currently utilizing. Number one is data is greater than emotion. Again, I've told you, don't buy based on emotions. Now, when you buy based on data, most savvy investors who are very savvy and intelligent in the market, they realize that they have to depend on data, and that's what InvestFusion brings to them. InvestFusion doesn't just give you access to listings. Instead, it gives you access to real data, the property's real condition reports. It flags any potential zoning violations on the property. It flags any potential structural damages, foundation issues, foggy windows, or majorly big ticket items. It also helps you analyze your tenant's paying history, what they refer to as what we refer to for residential. It looks at the properties that have not increased rent over the last 5 years, therefore looking at distressed property that are properly mismanaged by the owners and giving you a rare gem in the market. The second secret most savvy investors utilize is they don't rely on the fact that they are not expert and say, hey, I don't have 10 years of experience in the market. I don't have a real estate license. I don't have over $200,000 saved in the bank. No, they realize that they have to depend on data-driven insights from InvestFusion. So with InvestFusion, you don't need to have a real estate license to buy real estate the right way. You don't need to have over $200,000 saved in the bank. Why? Because InvestFusion brings you access to properties with built-in equity that are cash flowing. As a matter of fact, on your screen, this is a property we found that was 90.01% below the market. Imagine getting a deal that is only $20 per square foot, while the market comps is $210. That's the power of InvestFusion. That's the power of real data. That's the power of insight that your listing broker or any other brokers will not have access to that information. And that's what InvestFusion brings to you. Secret number 3 that most savvy or smart investors are utilizing is the fact that you are not late to the market. I keep getting emails from clients saying, Jeff, I'm late to the market. What do I do? All the deals are gone. All the great deals are gone. No. All the great deals are not gone. You just don't know how to find the right deals. And that's what InvestFusion does for you. It helps you identify those gems. So you're early to utilizing the right tool. You are not late to the market. You are early to InvestFusion, and you're among the first globally that will have access to a tool that does the heavy lifting, not just vanilla listing. Going to sites like Zillow, LoopNet, Craigslist, just name it. You're just doing plain vanilla listing. You're buying based on emotions. You're buying pretty pictures. Pretty pictures do not cut out data. Data is greater than emotions. If you buy pretty pictures, you're buying based on emotions and not buying based on facts and data. So here's the deal. You can keep browsing through Zillow, looking at pretty pictures, looking at listings, and hoping the numbers work. Or you can decide to say, no, I will be different. I will be smarter. And then utilize InvestFusion to find deals that are 30 or 40% at a minimum below the market. This is what you have to do. Go to investfusion.co right now. If you don't have any property in mind, just do a blank search based on a zip code or an area or a state you have an interest in. It will spit out for you properties that are 30 or 40% below the market with built-in equity and, of course, cash flowing of properties itself. That's number 1. Number 2, it will flag out any potential violations on those properties. So if there's any environmental violation, zoning violation, or BTI, big ticket items, it will identify those for you and let you know that that's are potential red flags. So issues like foundation issues, structural damages, or even foggy windows, it will identify all of that for you. Plus, it will let you know your cash flowing return or your return based on your debt to equity ratio while factoring your mortgage rate. All of this, InvestFusion calculates all of this for you. So the deal is yours. You either will choose the smart way of investing or you go the hard way. So what are you waiting for? Right now, go ahead to investfusion.co and start investing smarter. You might be thinking, Jeff, listen, I used to think but you might be scared. What if all the deals are gone? What if the market is really going to collapse? What if? I've been there before, and I understand how you feel. And that's why I'm letting you understand that you can either go the smart way using data that trumps emotions, that trumps just listings, and start using InvestFusion to invest right now in the right way by buying your first residential property and avoiding all the mistakes most common beginners make. And you want to understand while sellers or buyers across the US is calling InvestFusion their unfair advantage. I will see you on the inside.